Hey, Drew.
Yes.
Happy 250th episode at Empire Radio.
Whoa.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 10, Identity Crisis, and Episode 11, Point of No Return. And it also happens to be our 250th episode here at Empire Radio.
You're not going to bow?
Nope, waiting for that thing to turn off. But yes, it's been over 4 years of content, and we're doing episode 250 tonight. So that's exciting. Congratulations to us. I'll pat myself on the back. So here's to another 250 episodes, hopefully.
200. I feel like just the other day was we just got 200.
Yeah. So
I guess that was what?
50
Not
episodes
quite.
a year ago.
Was it? Dude.
Well, 52 weeks in a year. So a year ago was around 200.
Yeah, but we've done like a doubles.
Yeah, but so 11 months ago.
Yeah, 10 months
But
ago.
I don't know how we're going to do another 250 episodes because we're already struggling to get episodes between shows. But
But the thing is, no one's on strike anymore. The world's going to crap, so we got to be entertained somehow. So they're just going to keep putting out content for us. I think we'll be good.
hopefully. But we're not here to discuss the future. We're here to discuss the here and now. And with that, we're going to talk about the Q&A, which is about the future. So kind of ruined my whole transition there. But last week's episode, we had a Q&A on Spotify. Will we see an Omega and Saz Ventress animated series in the future? So we got some responses. Dazdor said, Ventress's resurrection story and Tales of the Jedi, question mark.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
Tales
Maybe
of the
if
Sith.
it was Quinlan Voss, Tales of the Jedi, like 3 episodes of that, and one of them was
Reviving her.
Like coming across her or something. That'd be cool. Addie says maybe ... or better yet, live action with like 10 exclamation points. Disney please with a Z, LOL. And Nate Keeney. All right. So we love Nate Keeney here at Empire Radio, but his comment, I don't know if I'm allowed to like this one. But he said, I could see that happening, but I would much rather get a rec show. Also, Drew is right. Ventress could show up in Ahsoka season 2.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Dude,
Nate, you just got
me and Nate go way back, yo.
Way back? Really?
Way back.
Okay. Well, Nate, you just got demoted a little bit from for me, but that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Easton says Ventress's yellow lightsaber is used to show her as a Force user beyond the Sith or Jedi, but the Temple Guards use it to show a special status. I got similar vibes about Crosshair Ventress. A lot of people have been on that. They've been shipping them. So
Crosshair and Ventress together?
Remember when he reached his hand out to pull her into the ship after the giant fish thing? We talked about it.
I know, but Ventress already has her love. He's out there.
Yeah, but they might not know each other anymore, see each other. But anyway, I'm on board for that. Jacob with a K says,
I don't think Crosshair is gonna survive this season.
No one is. But Jacob with a K says no to the question. We're not going to see that series. Jonathan says, I like to see some kind of series involving Omega, but I don't want her to be a Force user. Maybe Ventress and Omega as bounty hunters. That new intro is sick. Andrew is so talented.
Oh,
yep.
Andrew.
And for those of you who don't know what he's referring to, it's the music, the new intro music.
Mhm.
And finally, Aaliyah says, I feel like that would get boring after a few episodes.
Dang.
Maybe. Who
Chill.
knows? All right. Well, thank you to our responders to the Q&A.
Yeah.
But we're here with this week's episode. 2 episodes,
Z.
plural.
Episodes.
And it's kind of weird because I thought these were going to be like more related to each other, these 2 episodes, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. But I'm not complaining.
It wasn't, but
So
it was, but it wasn't.
we'll just talk about the first episode and your thoughts on it. So what were your overall thoughts on the first episode, Identity Crisis?
I liked it. I thought it was good. Um, I think the whole concept of that is like, what's that clone name? I forget her name.
The scientist chick,
Omega's sister, yeah.
Emery Carr.
Emery, like that is like the title. It's her identity crisis, I think.
Right.
Like
She doesn't
trying to figure
know
out
who she, like,
if
which
she's
side she's
good or
on.
bad,
Right.
essentially. And that's not what I thought the inside of that thing was gonna look like at all.
Well, okay. The vault is there's multiple things in the
Well,
vault.
clearly, but like when
So
we
like
were
that, we
walking
did.
the vault, I was like, "Yo, let's go! We're in the vault." And then I was like, "Oh, this is a daycare center."
Well, we did see like those armored test tube things, like
Mhm.
was it the 3rd episode or something like that
Yeah.
when Emperor Palpatine came, and then we saw this, and they were both behind those laser
Mhm.
laser hallways. So there's a lot of things going on in the vault. Those are the top things. But I would agree with you on this. I was like, what were we gonna see? Oh, that's how we're getting.
A daycare.
But
But yeah, I mean, there's parts of this episode that was like really, really sad and depressing. Like, I don't know. I was like, I'm super soft now that I have a kid. Cause like when they capture that baby, I was like, dude, this is depressing, dude. And like Cad Bane is like one of my favorite characters, coolest bad guy ever, really cool bounty hunter dude, you know? And then like I was like, yes, Cad Bane. I'm like, oh, he's just kidnapping a baby. Like, this is whack. This is
and
dumb.
this is
Like
not the first time he's
clearly, like
done
he
it. No,
probably
because like in Clone Wars, I think he was stealing babies too. I think it was like
really?
a Rhodian baby or something.
What a baby napper. But yeah, I don't like I was super hyped to see Cad Bane, but then it didn't have the same dramatic feel that I thought it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if this is all we get of him in this
I
season,
think
which I
that's all
feel
we
like it
got.
is, it's kind of whack. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie, because
but
like the trailer built him up like it was gonna be dope, and like hunting Omega, fighting them, you know, like that would have been cool. And then he just kidnapped a baby, and it's just sad and
like
depressing.
I like how it was, you know, uh, what was the name of the class 1 bounty hunter? I'm like, all you do is
Hmm.
stun a mom and then take a baby,
Yeah, like
like that Han Solo wannabe from season 1 of The
mhm,
Mandalorian could have taken this baby.
for sure. So like that was kind of disappointing. But then like the rest of the episode was really cool and really like you can feel the tide, like the pull that she has. Like, is she gonna be good? Like I feel like she's going to be good because she can't do it. Like even at the end of the episode, like she is building connections with these kids because she's not like that. Like she found Omega's stuffed animal and gave it to this little kid. So it's just like I
Right.
don't know. So I think it's and like we kind of learned a little bit more about what they're doing. Kind of. I
Well,
mean,
we've got more answers to the M count
yeah.
and Omega stuff, which is cool, and we'll talk about that later. Um,
So
but yeah, I really like this. I just like that it was very quiet and
yeah,
slow
I was gonna say there
paced,
was like parts where it was just music the whole time,
just music,
and
and
then
then like the sound effects of like the droid or whatever. Like there
mhm,
wasn't like it's so weird that because it's if you watch it, it's like boring, but like I was so engaged into
No,
it.
yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
not.
I could just watch a whole like series on just walking around, people walking
Mm,
around this facility doing experiments because it was just so like emotional the whole time, like
mm-hmm.
intense. Like you didn't know what's gonna happen, and so I really liked it. I just wonder what's gonna happen to those three kids by the end of the.
I feel like are we supposed to know the green kid? Because he just like
No,
felt familiar for some reason.
not well. He kind of looked a little bit like those kid clones that we saw early in the season, and we saw in next episode. Like he looked very similar to them with the same kind of haircut and round face,
Mm.
but he was just a green kid with. Which I don't know. I don't recognize that species. I
The only person.
recognize the other girls as their
Mm,
species, but what was his name? Jax.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But that mom and baby, I don't recognize that alien species either.
Yeah,
Like
I thought that was like an
it was like an
animal.
it was like an owl mole mix or something with a cat in there. I don't know. It was a weird creature, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just wonder how what they're gonna do because I will talk about that later. But yeah, so those are all our thoughts. We may as well jump in scene by scene. So as we kind of talked about, there's a mom and a baby on this new planet. It's kind of like a mountainous, kind of snowy, colder planet. And they're just in the market doing shopping or whatever. And the mom puts the baby down to look at some fruit or whatever, and the baby drops its toy and climbs down to go get it. And then in that process, a vase goes flying and crashes. And I'm like, oh, what happened? And you and I know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But like no one else is like, wait, what just happened? There's no way that kid could have lifted that up, blah blah blah. And like the other people and they're like, that kid is a weird kid, like I don't know, blah blah blah. And then the other lady's like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. Just we'll bring attention here. Da, 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 da. Just let kind of put on the down low. And so the mom grabbed the baby and just apologized and left and went back to her place. And then the main guy that was like, what's going on? Watched which house she went into, which was his neighbor. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's kind of put emphasis on like, oh, he watched her go into her house when she was literally her neighbor. So he probably knew that already. But he goes back to his apartment and makes a phone call and says, I got a tip for a C1
Bounty
bounty
hunter.
hunter. So I'm assuming he called like an Imperial hotline or something.
Either that or he called a bounty hunter guild.
Maybe. Do they have like a guild at this point?
Probably. There's
'Cause
probably
I
like
feel like all these are working independently. Like they just do their own thing. Like they're not part of an organized. I don't really know.
how do we know that though?
I don't know. Just they just act like they're always like alone. Like they're not like hanging out with each other.
I mean,
Like in
there's
a
got to be some way to get the bounties, right?
yeah. I just don't know how that
Like
works.
someone sells the bounties or like tells the bounty hunters what to hunt for. So he
Right.
called that thing, whatever that is.
Right. But yeah. So he makes a call, and then we go to Mount Tantus. Which was there less snow on the mountains, or am I misremembering? I don't know. It seemed like it
I
was a lot
well,
more
it's probably
green.
yeah,
Like
it's
it's
probably like earlier or later in the year, like more summertime.
right. So Dr. Hemlock is looking in some sort of tube with red lights glowing out of it, and we don't get to see what's in it.
Nope.
Probably a
Snoke.
Snoke or a Palpatine or
Isn't that one of his
Star
things?
Killer, maybe. Crosses, fingers crossed. What if it was Star Killer? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be dope.
Like, eventually they have to do a Star Killer story. Like, I'm surprised they haven't
Oh, they're
done that
waiting until
story.
they can't think of anything else.
I just wonder, like, if they ever did Star Killer, if they would actually do a show or movie, or would they just resort to a video game? I don't know, but it
I
would be
feel like they
cool.
can't redo those video games. Like it's probably gonna be a show.
I don't know.
or they're just gonna not do anything because it's not canon. So wasn't it
Well,
like
they would make it canon if it was.
Vader's like Padawan,
Huh?
Star Killer?
Yeah, Star Killer.
Isn't like wasn't he like Vader's Padawan in the
Yeah,
games?
like he was training him up so that they could kill Palpatine.
Mm-hmm. That is a really cool story to do if they ended up doing
Because
that.
that's what the whole point of the Sith is to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like, are you supposed to like get an apprentice and then kill, or are you supposed to like kill your master and then get an apprentice? Like, I don't know what the
I think you get one and then you do it because wasn't that what Palpatine was afraid that Dooku was doing?
that is. He was,
Yeah,
but I don't know
which
if he
is
was
like
just so much
why
more
he didn't.
smarter than Dooku that he could stop him. I don't know.
I think
Because
that's
like with
like
Dooku, he was so public because in a sense because he was leading
yeah,
a war that
that
was
he
hard to
couldn't
hide a
hide
secret.
that Ventress was there.
Right. But I don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, so he's doing his thing, and Emery walks in and says that the progress of their experiments has been stalled since Nala Se was locked up behind the scenes. Like she's just kind of sitting there by herself in a cell, and she's like, "Well, do you trust?" Like, because he says, "You can't trust her anymore," and she's like, "Well, can you trust me?" And he's like, "Are you wanting to be chief scientist?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can do it. I've worked under you for years." He's like, "Okay, like okay, that was kind of super easy. Like, you don't go through like
Quickest interview process of
an
all
interview
time.
process and an extra background check here and there or something. I don't know." But he's like, "All right, let's get you caught up on the details of Project Necromancer." And so there's two sections which we kind of knew of, the place, the sub containment chamber, which we think is like where they have all the animal experiments, and then there's the vault, which is behind the laser hallway thing that we saw at the beginning of the season. Um, and so he walks her through that hallway and into the vault and goes into a room and says, like, we got these specimens that are of key importance and must be taken with great care. And she walks into this room and there's three children in there, all aliens. One girl was a Pantoran. They got the green kid that we talked about, and then I forget what the other girl's species is. I just remember that species was one of the Jedi that went to go kill Palpatine or arrest Palpatine and dies in like half a second.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
forget what his name is and what his species is, but maybe chat could help us out. Um, but yeah, so there's there, and she's kind of like, oh, like this is what's going on. Like this whole episode, she's just like has this look on her face, like, what is going on? What am I getting myself into? This is not good. Like you can just tell.
Not worth the raise that I don't get.
Right. So like the whole episode is like her, like you could tell she has this internal conflict, and it was immediate right when she walked in. She looked at these kids.
Well, and I
Um,
think what really made it hard for her too is like right away, she was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And then he was like, you can't ask them what their names are."
yeah, you can't have any attachments. They're just specimens. Um, and she's like, "Well, why are we doing this on kids?" And Dr. Hemlock is like, "There's few adults left with the high M counts.
Which means
Um,
Order 66.
like, there's no Jedi
They
left."
killed them all.
And so, like, it's interesting because I don't think she knows that M count is about
No,
force sensitivity.
it didn't seem like it. It seemed like she had no idea that that meant like
Right,
the Force.
right. And so, um, and also they're like, well, also with having children, like they're not aware that they're being held against their will and
They're
that
easier to maintain.
maintain and control because they're kids, they don't know any better type of thing. And so
Hmm.
it's like I'm guessing these kids were 8 to 10 years old, maybe something like that.
or even younger. I don't
I
know.
don't know if they were
They seem
younger.
like they're like 8 or 9 or like even 10,
Yeah, because I think
but
anything under
that one they
8,
got was like 1, 2,
not
maybe.
even 1. But but these kids, they could talk more articulate, and I would say that at least 8 years old to talk as well as they did.
Yeah, probably
But
8. Well,
um,
6 though.
I don't know. I don't know anything about kids.
They it seems like they have that they're obviously force sensitive or whatever, but they don't know how to use it though.
Right. And so I'm wondering.
Like, have they been there since they were that little too?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Like, how long have they been there? Because they are referred to with their number as SP and then their number. So I'm assuming SP stands for specimen,
Mhm.
but Jax
It's like, what,
is
57 or something?
32, and but I think Eva was 54, maybe.
Mhm.
So
Before
does that mean
57.
they've had at least 54 specimens with high M counts? I don't know if that's.
Well, clearly they're not giving them back, so are they dying?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
draining them of their blood to the point they die?
I don't know. Because in that room there were 6 cells. Like there's 3 on one side, 3 on the other side,
Mhm.
and so
And then the blue girl, we didn't really get any
yeah,
interaction with
there
her at
was one
all.
scene briefly where she is at her table and she looks back and sees Emery on the other side of the
Mhm.
room. I was like, why is she doing that? Like, what's going on with her? So I think we'll get more about that Pantoran chick later, but I don't know. We'll see. But we got some direct information about the M count and how it relates to Omega. Dr. Hemlock says that the M count cannot be directly replicated from the source. So, Palpatine, his M count can't be replicated directly from him. And he then says that Omega has a binder proven to be compatible with the M count replication with DNA and M count. So it's what does that mean? I think we kind of speculated that a little bit, that her blood is able to be used to replicate
Mhm.
M counts, which means that other clones aren't doing that. So it's what was Nala Se's purpose with creating Omega? Like, was was she kind of commissioned by Darth Sidious and Count Dooku for this purpose? Was Palpatine working on this at the beginning when the clones were commissioned? I don't know, because she's like
I feel like
Generation One.
no, because like they probably wouldn't have killed the younglings. Like if they were working on this, wouldn't you think they
Oh,
want to kill off all their younglings because they want to use them later?
well, I think because the younglings knew of their abilities and knew
True,
a
they're
way of life, that
yeah.
they could fight back and be more of a problem.
At one point they s- end up with Grogu though, right?
True. And so
So like that
I
would
don't
have
know.
been so crazy if she would have opened that door and Grogu was like just sitting there and like
Well, we
with
were
her.
speculating that at the beginning of the season, is Grogu in this facility right now? That's
Which
kind
she
of
might be because remember that the baby one, they just took him somewhere else. So does she go and like see the baby and then she finds Grogu is like in a crib too?
I don't know.
That'd be nuts.
Like,
That would have got
but I
everyone.
kind of want to go back to the first episode of The Mandalorian, or the first 3 episodes or whatever, and see
Yeah,
if what was the scientist guy's name?
Dr. Percy,
Dr. Person, if he referred to Grogu as
specimen.
SP something.
Hmm. Chat, help
Like,
us out. See if that's something in there. That'd be crazy.
Right. But like, I wouldn't be
I think it'd
surprised.
be crazy too if we see Dr. Persing.
Well, I
But
think
he'd be young though, wouldn't he?
he'd probably be a kid because I think he's probably like 40, like in the
Yeah.
Mandalorian. So that's
It's just weird
35 years
that like
later.
they
So he's
still
probably just a
have
kid.
the same like clothing though. Because
Yeah.
remember, Dr. Persing had like
He had the patch on his arm
from
and the same gray beige, like light gray beige thing that everyone else is wearing. So I don't know if the clothes fit, wear it, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think so with the fact that Omega's blood is compatible with M count, it seems to imply that she doesn't have an M count. Therefore, she's not force sensitive.
really?
Right. Really. Because,
That's not what I got out of that.
but it's about compatibility, not with having an M count, because they're trying to replicate it.
But from the last episode, it very much seemed like she was force sensitive.
They wanted you to think that, but I don't think.
But what's her
I think
name
based
said
on
like you
this,
need to like let her go if she's gonna go train.
yeah, but
I don't know.
well, we should say she doesn't have a high M count because everyone has an M count because everyone has midichlorians.
I think she does. I think it's just because she's cloned already that she's able to be compatible because she's cloned.
I don't know. But I think that's all the information we're going to get on this M count stuff with Omega now.
Probably.
But
Well, I don't know though because she's captured.
spoilers for next episode.
My bad.
She wasn't captured. She was surrendered. She surrendered. It's two different things.
That part was heartbreaking, but we'll get to that.
But yes, so I like that we got that information, but it still muddies the water. Still, like we don't know exactly what's going on, but we know more. And we only got, let's see, 3 episodes left. 4 episodes left. Let's see, 12, 13, 14. 4 episodes left. So like,
is that 4 weeks or is there any more doubles?
there's no more doubles. That's it.
Oh wow.
So, well, I think that finale is going to be 75 minutes because season 1, episode 1 was 75 minutes.
That'd be dope.
They need to end with a 75-minute thing. And you're doing a watch party for that finale, and that's going to be a long watch party. And I'll probably try to do a reaction video to that too. So, but yeah, so we get that information, and then the girl with the horns goes up to Emery and is like, I like your glasses. And she's like, thanks, what's your name? And then that's when Hemlock's, hey, don't get attached, no names.
Yep.
They're specimens, they're scientific assets, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, right. And so as Dr. Hemlock is leaving, the green kid looks at him, type in his code to open a door with the data pad. And all right, this kid's gonna try and do a prison break episode. Is this what we're gonna get?
I can't swim.
Oh,
GG.
Well, good thing it's just a mountain and he can walk. And he can blend in, dude. He's green.
Really, he's camouflaged.
Like he even has like different spots on his face a little bit, like textured up a little bit. Like there's no way they're finding him. But yeah, so then we go back to the mom and the baby in her apartment house thing, and she's just playing with her baby, like, aw. Like, we know something bad's about to happen, but aw. And then we hear footsteps clanging like spurs, and you see the steps walk past the light underneath the door from outside, and the mom's like, oh, that's not normal. Like, I'm a corner house, and there should be no one walking in that direction because it's a dead end or whatever, basically. And she goes back, goes up to the door a little bit, and kind of looks, and they see the footsteps, shadows there. So she grabs a shovel to protect her and her baby. And then Cad Bane opens the door and stuns her immediately. All right, we're doing this. He calls Toto in, the droid, and all right, get the blood sample, blah blah blah. And so they stick the baby with a needle and get a blood sample and test it on a little. They don't use the Gillette shaver anymore. They use a more high tech thing now.
Yep.
And so it tests positive, and he's like, "All right, cool, Toto, put the kid in the thing and let's go." And then the kid starts crying, and he's like, "Get that kid to shut up!" Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "I'm not a nursing droid." Blah blah blah. And then sees the kid trying to go for the stuffed animal toy thing, and so Toto gives him the toy. I did it! Yay! Okay, whatever. So then they leave. So that was that. But I was still like, dang, that's a sad thing because
It was sad.
the last thing, like the kid's looking out over the thing and seeing his mom
Yeah,
laying
it
on the
was
ground.
depressing, dude.
It's so sad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like watching this. I'm like, am I just getting soft because I have a kid now, or is it
What
just
was Miles watching with you again?
no? I actually watched this at work because I was working late,
Oh,
so I was like, this is depressing as heck. And then I was like, no, I'm like, how is this a kid show? Like, they're showing kidnapping of babies
yep,
from a cowboy who's abusive to his droid. Like, it got super dark. I was like, this is sad.
right,
I was like, oh, Cad Bane. And then he did that. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, I should be more happy to see Cad Bane, but I'm not.
right. So that scene ends, and we go back to Tantus, and Emery is talking with SP-54, the girl, who we know will in a moment find out is Eva. Eva, I can't remember where she said it, but her name's Eva. And she's like, "Well, what
Well,
happened?"
because she said, like, her name and or SP-54, and then she's like, oh, my name's Eva.
Okay.
And then
And
she's like, what can I call you? And then she's like, Dr.
Car
Car or whatever.
Car with a K and two R's, not CAR.
Star Wars. It needs to be more difficult.
Yep. And so she's like, "Well, what happened in LSA? She hasn't been here for a while." And Emery is like, "Well, she's no longer leading this research, so I'm in charge now." And she's like, "Well, now LSA was going to tell me when I would be able to go home." And Emery's like, "Can you?" She's like, "Can you do that for me?" She's like, "Yeah, I can see that." And so there's this whole theme from this point forward about the kids wanting to go home. So like, I wonder if they're going to get freed and be able to go back home. I wonder if that mom's going to get that baby back. I don't know. Because I can't imagine that they're going to kill these kids and this baby. Like,
I don't think they're going to kill any of them. I think they're just going to keep them.
But I just don't think that the facility is going to survive. Like, I think
they're just going to blow it up and not explain that there's things inside of there.
Well, I don't know. I just think that it's going to be.
I don't know.
Like, we'll talk about it later with Tarkin.
Okay, but I mean, if you get into the next, like, I don't want to jump the gun too much, but Omega's definitely going to get put in there now instead of in a normal jail system.
I think they're not going to let her be with any other kids because they know how dangerous she is.
Well, that too, but
like because if she starts meditating with those kids, those kids are gonna
start popping off. Hey guys, let's just meditate, and all of a sudden these kids start floating around.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Like, looks out of one eye, like, oh shoot, what just happened? That'd be dope as heck.
That would be kind of cool. If
that's how she escape. Is she uses all these little. You just see that little waddle baby running around, force pushing people.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But I don't know. I'm just worried about what's gonna happen with like these kids. Like I feel like they're gonna be rescued.
I think Nala Say is gonna like sacrifice herself.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be dead
again.
Like again. But yeah, and so then Emery then walks over to SP-32 Jax, his cell, and Emery's on her data pad, and he's looking at her, looking at the data pad, looks at the door, and grabs the data pad and runs for the door. And then people up above that are like watching see him running, and they push a button, and it locks down. So when he puts the data pad in and puts a number in, the door doesn't open.
Dude, this is crazy. But like the entire time he was running, I'm like, they're gonna shock the floor. They're gonna shock the
Oh,
floor. And I was like, wait, no, different
different
Star Wars,
show.
this different thing. But the whole time I was like, they're gonna shock the floor. He's gonna die. They're just gonna kill this kid right now. And then I was like, wait, no, different, different show.
Right. And so the door doesn't open. Now let's say, or not now say, Emery tries to like calm him down, and then the door opens, and it's three commandos, commandos that clone commandos that come in, and I believe the main one there is Scorch, right? Is it that's what his name is? Scorch,
Yep.
and they're aiming their guns at him, and he's like, set the guns to stun. And Emery's like, all right, I got this all under control. There's no need for you here. And then the kid looks past the clones to the hallway, and he tries to run anyway, and he gets stunned and collapses. And then Emery is mad, like, why would you do that? Like, I had it under control. Like, he's just a child. And Scorch is like, well, I follow proper protocol. He'll be fine. Blah blah blah, and then he just leaves. And obviously, Emery is distraught over that, obviously. And so the next scene, the medical droid is scanning the boy in his room, his cell thing, and then Eva talks to Emery and is like, "Is he gonna be okay?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Is he's not gonna get in trouble, is he?" And Emery's like, "Nah, he's not getting in trouble. Like, why would he get in trouble? Like, he's already in a cell. Like, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But I was like, that's not that simple. That's
That's
not
not how
gonna
this
happen like that.
works. That's not how the Force works.
Yeah, right. That's not how the Empire works.
That's not how the jail system works.
So now let's say, so then it jumps to Emery going to see Now Let's Say, and she was just like, so Project Necromancer. And so she's like, oh, so you're in the vault with the children. And was talking about that. And so there's a line that she says that I thought was very interesting. She says something like along as I was like, I was a child too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seemed like she was implying that she was experimented on too. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Like, you've known me since I was a child, so like, why would you treat a child like this type of thing? Could just be that.
I think it's just that.
But like, I wonder if Dr. Hemlock knows that Emery and Omega are twin sisters.
I think he has to, right? Because she's a clone.
But does he know that?
I think he does. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel because if they're clones, then Emery is compatible with the her blood is compatible with the M count
If
transfer.
that's why I think Omega is Force sensitive. Like Omega has high M count because that's the same with like Crosshair, and they didn't find anything with him.
I don't know. I just feel like,
That means all of them would be Force sensitive, but they're not.
but if Emery and Omega are the same, because they're both female and clones, the rest of the clones are male, like, is that what they're both clones of Django, but the two are female clones. Does that have an effect on their blood compatibility? Like, I just wonder. Like, I just don't know if Hemlock. I feel like he doesn't know that they're twins.
Maybe he doesn't know, but I don't think she's Force sensitive.
I don't think either of them are force sensitive.
I think Omega is now.
I don't know.
That's crazy how you flipped over one sentence.
I didn't flip over last week. I was like, maybe she is, maybe she's not. It's still ambiguous, but with
But
the
like,
whole,
but then wouldn't that throw away your entire thing about Omega and what's her name having their own show?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying based on the line from Hemlock and explaining that her blood is compatible with the
I think
replication of an M count.
because she has high M count and she's a clone.
But it's not about her having a high M count. It's about having blood that can replicate. It's a blood that can be used to replicate.
But can it be replicated because she's a clone and she has a high M count?
I think that when Palpatine and Dooku commissioned and planned the clone army thing, the clones were designed for also the purpose of being used to help clone Palpatine in the future.
For sure.
So, like,
They've been trying to do this since day
they've
one.
been trying to do this for a while, and I just wonder how that
I mean,
plays out
maybe
with.
she was experimented on, but like, I don't know if that means she is. Clearly, she doesn't have what Omega has because they would just be using her. But like you're saying, maybe if he doesn't know that, then
Yeah, because
what's
if
the
they're
point of
created,
Omega?
like if one of the purposes they were created was so that they could be used for experimenting with cloning Palpatine,
Mm-hmm.
then like obviously then they would know that the clones are not going to be by default force sensitive. So like they're not expecting a clone that can be used to replicate the M count to be force sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think that it points to Omega not being force sensitive because that's not what they're looking for. Because they're doing it on regular clones that they know that are not force sensitive. So, but I also don't know why they have these kids here. Like what they're trying to use the kids for. Are they just trying
I think
to?
it's their blood.
Is it they're trying to?
It's the same thing they're doing with Grogu, training them
Right. And I
because
gotta go back.
they're force sensitive.
I gotta go back to that episode in season 2 with the Mithril when they went to that facility with the clones in it,
Mm-hmm.
and they start talking about that too. I don't know. There's so many little details. Like I don't know if we're ever how many answers we're gonna get, but
I think we're gonna get them all.
eventually,
Probably at the end of the show.
by the end of the show, or do you think there's gonna be?
Unless, yeah, I don't know.
I think there's gonna be more though in the Mandoverse stuff because Project Necromancer was mentioned in season 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is if you don't watch the show, we're gonna be so much more informed than like people that aren't watching the show, and they're
Right.
like,
That's why you gotta watch
"Oh, you
everything.
gotta watch everything, man."
But anyway, now let's say Emery's talking with Nalase still, and is like, she's like, Nalase's like, I had to help Omega escape, and I think she tried to save the rest of the children, but she just didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the ability to or whatever. And Emery's like, well, because Nalase's like, well, you are now in charge. Like it's up to you. They're gonna look to you to rescue them. And she's like, I don't have the power, the ability to do this. And Nala says, you don't like, are you sure you don't? Like, yeah, you do. Like, says who? Like, you have all the power to rescue them. Um, and Emery's like, oh, I guess. Because she's the only one that has compassion for these kids. So she's the only one that can do anything. So she walks away and leaves, and then it goes to as she's walking out, like in the hallways. Dr. Hemlock is there and stops her. Hey, we got a new kid coming in, a new specimen. It's gonna be great. And she's like, "Well, let me be there when the specimen arrives, so that I can assist because he told me that they have to be protected at all costs, like with great care. Let me oversee that." And he's like, all right, sure. But like the clone commandos are like, we don't need help. But she's like, I'll be there. And Dr. Hemlock gets notified that Tarkin is paging him, and all right, I gotta go. Emery, you go join them if you want, whatever. So he goes into his office and gets on a call with Tarkin, and Tarkin's like, "Hey, you guys are getting a lot of funding. All this money is getting funneled over to you guys. Like, what's going on? Like, what are you guys doing over there?" And Hemlock is like, that's top secret, highly classified, but it is a personal interest of the Emperor's. And Tarkin's like, well, okay, well, how can I help? Can I help you with anything? Like, he's trying to get the information because he's classic Tarkin. Like, he wants to know. He's all about funding. I don't know.
Where's
Every
this
time
money going?
where's this money going? All in Rebels. He's talking about it. In the Thrawn books,
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of Thrawn in there, or a little bit of Tarkin in there, we get him talking about finances in there, and so even last season, like the finale, last 2 episodes, we see Tarkin. He's talking with the whole council. Like Krennic is there, and other leads are there for projects, and they're all looking for money. So Tarkin's like, "Well, let me be part of this," and he's like, "Nope, I just need the money. I'm good." And Tarkin's like, "Well, if you don't yield any results soon, it's not gonna go well with your project and you specifically." So he's kind of threatening Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Hemlock. So maybe that's just a little foreshadowing that things are going to go south at Tantus, and the Emperor is going to hold Hemlock responsible. And I think it would be kind of cool if we saw Palpatine force lightning him to death or something like that. I don't
That'd
know.
be dope.
Like, are we ever going to see Palpatine use the Force ever again? Like, are we going to see him shock
I
anyone?
don't
Are we going to see
know.
him?
I don't know if we're gonna see him anymore in this
I think we'll
show.
see him at the end of this thing just because of how important this project is. Like, when crap goes
I
down,
think it
like,
would be dope if you see Vader.
I don't think we're going to see Vader.
Like if Palpatine's like, I'm sending my boy to come clean this up, and this is the first look at Vader we get.
We could. I just don't think. I think
Because no
the
one knows a
writers of the
Vader yet, I don't think.
no one knows of Vader. Like even by the time we get to the original trilogy, like Vader's still like a rumor, a secret. Like the rebels know of them because of like the rebels the what are they called? The rebels squad. What are they called?
The Rebel Alliance?
No, like the show rebels. Like that's what is
Oh,
their name? Phoenix Squad. No, no, that's not
Phoenix.
it.
No.
No. Dang it, Chad. What is the name of the rebels? Whatever. Them, whatever. Like they know about him because they ran into Vader multiple couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, didn't it
but
seem like though? Didn't it seem like in episode 4 that Leia knew of Vader?
like yeah, because they're part. She's part of the Rebel Alliance, so they
Yeah,
know of Vader. But like galaxy wide, Vader's still a
kind of
secret.
quiet. Yeah,
Um, like because a lot of times the only like main interaction that people have with Force users are going to be Inquisitors. Like they're being dispatched all throughout the galaxy, hunting
mm-hmm.
Jedi down and stuff. So like people know about them to more of a degree than Vader. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I was like, are we ever going to see Palpatine do Force stuff ever again? Are we going to see him fight anyone? Are we going to see him use Force lightning or wield a lightsaber again? Like, I don't know. I feel like the only time we would see it is if we saw like him training Vader. But like,
Probably won't though.
it'd be cool to see him stretch his legs again and
It'd be cool if we see like Asajj Ventress and Vader fight.
each other.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of cool.
Like in her show, if she got a show.
Yeah, because she'd be like a fairly
It.
powerful
I think
person.
if it's not like with Omega, if it's like a Asajj Ventress show, and it's like her being a bounty hunter throughout the galaxy and trying to help. Like I
It'd
think
be
that
cool.
would be a cool show. That'd be fun.
It'd be cool if she was working with, um,
Ahsoka and Rex.
no, with the lady from the Kenobi series that had the underground
Yeah.
system, like where because
Mhm.
Quinlan went through there,
Yeah.
like it'd be cool if she was involved with that, trying to save Force sensitive children. Like if she ends up getting called in, like to Mount Tantus to like help
Mhm.
rescue these kids, like that could be literally be the start of it. Like it could be her idea to like start an underground railroad for Force sensitive children,
That'd be cool.
and then see her become like a hero. Like that'd be add to her
I
character
think we
development.
I think no matter what, I think we're gonna see her. I mean, just because she didn't end up even attempting to take Omega,
Right.
you know that she's better than she was.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah. So Tarkin's call ends with him basically threatening Dr. Hemlock. He gets up to call, and then he calls the assassin clone, which I guess they're they're called X troopers. I can't remember if we've mentioned that before, but X trooper, X whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Which I still think is tech, but
of course you do. Everyone thinks that. I don't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that
I
later.
just want to say I said it first. So
You said. I think like, a lot of people are saying.
hey, I'm just saying I said it right away.
I don't know,
And our
but
podcast comes out before most Star Wars podcasts.
I don't. I don't know. I don't listen to others podcasts.
Well, I'm just saying I call it.
Episode reactions and breakdowns happen like way before us, but
I'm talking about podcast wise. I
I
called
don't
it
know.
first.
I don't know. Maybe,
I
but
really think it's him.
he calls the assassin and like, what's the update on your search or whatever? He's like, well, I found the Trandoshan, which is Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick that up? And I was like, gosh dang it, Sid.
I hope he killed her.
Maybe, but she's just so willing to give up information to the Empire. So why would
Money
you want
pays,
to
dude.
kill? You gotta keep her alive to get more information. But she gets interrogated basically and says that they have interacted with a pirate that they frequents that planet and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
and that's Fee. And so I was like, dang it, he's gonna track down Fee, and that's how they're gonna get to Pabu. I'm like, dang it, that's not good. So that call ends, and we go to Coruscant on like a science space station or something outside Coruscant, above Coruscant, and that is where Cad Bane is dropping off the baby for Emery and the clone commandos to pick up. And so he comes out. He's like, "You're not the normal person." Like, "Yeah, I'm the new lady." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "I'm here just to inspect the specimen." And so Toto brings the baby down. She does a test positive, and Cad Bane gets his briefcase full of money. And she's like, "Well, how many of these specimens have you brought in?" He's like, "Let's just say I'm good at my job." So maybe all those kids are all taken by
Cad Bane
Cad
only.
Bane. And she's like, "Well, where did you find this specimen?" Which I think was her trying to figure out where home is for the baby so that she could bring the baby back home. Um, but he's like, asking those kind of questions, like, reflect something, details about yourself that you shouldn't be making public, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because like only people who ask that question are people who are trying to undermine what's going on. I think he was what he was implying. So, yep. So then they just part ways. Like, until next time, he taps his hat and walks away. And so then the next scene, baby's in the cell and they're taking a blood sample. Um, and we find out that Jax, the green kid, was put in 2-day isolation, like a solitary confinement. I think it was what was implied.
Mm-hmm.
And so then
Or two
went,
rotations.
which is 2 days, right?
We think.
I think rotations a
We
day.
assume, but I don't. What if their rotation is slower than ours?
Well, I think there's standard rotations and standard cycles throughout the galaxy, so that with those differences, there's a
Oh,
standard.
Cody just sent in a voicemail.
Well, too late.
Too
Sorry,
late,
Cody.
Cody.
We'll have to be next week.
Next week.
Um, but yeah, so when Emery goes to talk to Eva, Eva is just sad and mad and like, you lied to me. You said that Jax wasn't going to get in trouble. Like, I know I like this Eva girl. She's super sweet, super
Hmm.
like innocent, obviously because she's a
So I
kid, but she
really hope no Omega gets thrown in there with her.
right,
I think that's gonna make a really cool story.
yeah. And so, or maybe it's this Omega escapes with these 3 kids, and then the next show is about these 4 people, 4 kids on the run from the Empire. They're force sensitive, and then Asajj comes in and leads the way. I don't know.
Well, I think what's interesting is like Omega wants to go back there and save all of her brothers, like save all the clones that were arrested and stuff in there. So like, I don't know. I just, for me, it's the reason why I think that's tech is because we have no sign of him. No one's really talking about him this whole show, this whole season. They haven't really mentioned
They
him.
mention him a few times, but like he's dead, so like they're not going to have a lot of information on someone that's supposed to be dead. Now we still think we've never doubted that he's
That like alive.
not alive. Like I still think he's alive, um, but I don't know. We get reference to him next episode, in a very vivid way. But we'll talk about that then.
Mhm.
But as I said, Eva was mad at Emery for lying, but I don't think she was lying. She just didn't think that the Empire would punish a kid since he's
Mhm.
already in a cell. So there's a difference. It's not a lie if you don't know what you're saying isn't true.
Yeah.
So it then goes to Emery doing lab work where the blood samples are being processed, and she's going through her files and sees Omega and opens up the drawer, opens up her lunchbox, and there's her little toy that she made. And she looks at it, and then she, in the night, left a toy at the front of Eva's cell. So when the door opened up in the morning, Eva had a little toy.
Mhm.
So I think that's bad for Emery because when they find out that she has a personal item, the only other person that knew that item existed was Emery.
Yep.
So
I don't know what she was thinking.
she's just trying to like build trust with this girl again because
Mhm.
she trusted
And she
it was
feels
trust
bad
before.
because she knows what she's doing is wrong.
Right. Like we
It
said,
kind of
like
shows you that Emery's already like turning.
yeah, so like this whole episode, Emery is just conflicted. You can see in her face and the music and
Mhm.
her just looking and pondering things like when we see things that are immoral or not good or whatever, like we see that in her as well in those moments. So
Yep.
that is Identity Crisis. I really
Mhm.
like this episode, like I said,
I liked it a lot too. I thought it was really good.
and I just like that there was no Bad Batch,
Yeah.
which I know that happened in season 1 with the Ryloth and
Mhm.
Harrison. What was there one last season where there was
There
no?
was the one with Crosshair.
Oh, a few of them with Crosshair, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like them when they just take that
Well,
little
and
side
I
quest.
liked. I think what made me really like not even think about that the Bad Batch weren't in it was one, they mentioned Omega a lot, and two, I knew like in 3 seconds I was gonna watch an episode with a Bad Batch in it. So like
Right.
it didn't really like take away from that. Like this episode didn't pull like if I had to wait another week, I feel like I've been like, oh, like it was fun, but I kind of wish I would have got more of the crew. But then I don't know, like I'm more intrigued with this side than like Omega getting captured or the Bad Batch like invading them and taking their brothers back, like I kind of I know that that's going to happen, but I want to know why, like I want to know all this stuff that happened in this episode. So I think that's why it goes far.
Yeah, definitely. Very good, well written
Yeah.
episode. Very emotional.
Yeah, it's just a really good episode. You know what's also really good?
What's that, Drew?
Coffee and or tea. Both really good.
Yeah, and where
Yeah.
would you say is the best place in the galaxy to get
Probably
that?
our sponsor,
Who
Wesley
happens to
Andrews.
be Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea,
Yeah.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, if you're stuck in a jail cell against your will because you are innocent and you're just looking at a way to get a little more pep in your step,
And you're listening to this and have enough.
and somehow you have access to
Somehow someone's going to let you purchase coffee online. We know a guy.
We know a guy or a place. So let's take a listen to this little commercial.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Flip
this
the
week we
page
had 2
over.
episodes. So we might as well turn the page like I just did and go over Point of No Return. And this title means multiple things because a lot went down and nothing's going to return to the way it was. So, Drew, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
I forgot we got to do that. It was really good. I liked it a lot. I was sad. There's parts of it like when Omega ended up getting surrendered and like they found her comm link or whatever like instantly, and then the whole like time like Crosshair was trying to plant one and he misses a shot, and like it just kept like the Bad Batch kept falling and falling and falling. I thought at one point like we lost Wrecker, like that was it, he died. And
Oh, you thought they killed him off
like,
there?
Imagine that, dude.
They wouldn't let him die slow, like meaninglessly.
It's not meaninglessly though.
But like he's die because he just accidentally got blown up. Like they're all gonna
Imagine that
die
impact,
fighting.
though.
They're not gonna just die because they're blown up by a ship.
Imagine that though.
That Dave Filoni would never allow that. But
I don't know. I thought it was a really good episode. I don't know. I liked it. I don't know what else to say besides that.
Well, I think.
Did you like it?
I really liked it. Very, very good. But I also think that crap is going to go down next week because I feel like Hunter and Wrecker are going to say, well, they're going to blame Crosshair.
Ooh.
And they're also going to think.
I didn't even think about that.
They're also going to not believe him when we had a plan that she would surrender.
I didn't think about that either.
And they're going to think, you were playing us the whole time and we trusted you, but you led the Empire here.
Oh my god!
I think that's what's going to happen next week. We can talk about that later at the end of predictions.
Oh my gosh, that changes everything.
But part of me was also thinking maybe Hunter, when he was trying to work his way up, he saw the ship and was able to shoot his own tracker on the ship. And we won't see that till next week. But I don't think that also that didn't happen.
So.
I just don't know.
Well, okay, so let's bring it back to the trailer. There's still like a scene in the trailer that we haven't got.
Which I think has to be on Mount Tantus now. Like I have to go back and look at that, but like,
the thing burning down?
Huh?
What scene are you talking about?
The opening scene with the truck.
You think that's on Mount Tantus?
I don't know. Like, what else? Where else are they gonna go? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what that thing, but Crosshair's in that scene,
right?
So like, whatever happens, they're gonna get over that with him. Like, I think you're right. I think there's gonna be drama. But I don't think it's gonna last forever.
Right.
But then and then wasn't there a scene where you said like you thought the island burned down?
Oh no, it was just at the island. From this episode, when we see all the troopers on the top platform,
I was like really afraid that like once he got her, they're just gonna start killing, like just destroying the whole place.
I don't know.
In front of Omega, like,
like we don't
gave
know
up for no reason.
Right, like I don't know, because they think that Hunter and Wrecker are both dead. Like he made that comment. So like the troopers are gonna still try and find Crosshair, so they're not gonna just leave.
Yeah. Well, and that makes me think like they're gonna team up together and just destroy all those guys and dip. They don't have a ship anymore.
R.I.P. Havoc Marauder.
H&M.
Like what the heck? I like that ship.
First, I know when they blew it up, I was like, oh, not the H&M.
First, they blew up the Razor Crest in Mandalorian. Now they blew up this
likes
ship.
to blow up major ship.
I'm like,
if we get like season 4 of the Mandalorian and Boba Fett's in it, and he blows up the Slave One, ooh, he's gonna have some fans,
dude.
That's gonna be like like blowing up the Millennium Falcon. You can't do that.
It'll probably happen in the Rey Skywalker movie.
They'll probably collide and blow them both up at the same time. Like maybe. Somehow someone has Boba Fett's ship, and then it just like ruins all fandom.
What if somehow Omega takes control of the Slave One at some point, and she's flying the Slave One? What if she gets the Slave One?
You think she's gonna be alive in the Rey movie?
I think she will be. I think she's alive during the Mandoverse, but by the time you get to the Rey thing, she'd be like super old.
As old as Boba.
Right, but that'd be like in, like we said, 70s.
Boba's alive.
No, so be. Yeah, they'll be in their 70s during the sequel trilogy. So.
And this is 15 years after that. Yeah, no, they're not alive.
Yeah, so.
They're not.
I don't know. Unless she clones herself.
But Han was there.
How old was Han? He was old too.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford's like 80, was like 75 years old in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But we're rambling. So we should just do scene by scene stuff. But we go to a moon, it looked like, and there was like a port on this moon. And Fee is there, and she's just there to refuel and get out of there. And so she gets out, goes like, I don't know what she was doing in that side office room or whatever, but she left the ship while it was getting refueled, and the assassin clone was already there waiting for her. And so she just must be a place that she always goes to refuel.
Well, because she knew the droid's name, remember?
Yep, and like, just the regular blah, blah, blah. And so he sneaks onto the ship, puts in a data stick, to try and hack and get all the information off the ship. and an alarm goes off. But then he turns it off. But like the droid that was fueling the ship heard an alarm and stopped. Was like, "What the heck's going on?" But like, why didn't Fee hear it? Like that didn't make any sense to me. What was the point of the alarm if she was never going to like
Hear it?
hear it anyway? Like, why did they put that in the episode? Like, I didn't
don't-
get that. And that happened
Sure.
later on in the episode too, when it arrived at Pabu. The Havoc Marauders radar was going off, and then it like jammed it. Like it was, I don't know, it was kind of like a pointless thing because like no one saw it, so like it didn't matter if it went on or off. Like,
Yeah.
change nothing. But whatever. That is one little detail. But he's able to turn off the alarm. He steals all the information, gets off, but like as Fee is going back to the ship, like she feels like something's off. She looks around, and then she's like, "Oh, nothing happened." So she got back on her ship and flew away. Then the assassin flew away too in an opposite direction, and he plugs in the data stick, gets all the information, de-encrypts it apparently, and calls Scorch and says, "Hey, I got the information." She tried to have an encrypted message, like data button, whatever, but I broke it. So I guess, which there's information for your tech theory, because he was able to break in and hack and decrypt really fast. So that's one extra point for the techies out there.
Don't say techie though. That's too close to Trekkie,
Trekkie,
and I
Trekkie.
don't like that. I don't like that. You're going down a path I don't want to follow.
Maybe. But after that, goes to Pabu, and the team is loading up the Havoc Marauder to leave the planet for good because they realize, oh, one bounty hunter found us, and most likely the Empire can fight, so we're getting out of here. They're loading up, and Wrecker is kind of left there by himself to load up the rest of the supplies while I don't know what Hunter and Crosshair were doing really. I think maybe
supplies. I think
maybe get more supplies. I don't know, but they leave, and so I think something's going on the planet. Like there's like a festival or something. It might be a going away party, maybe.
I think so.
Or something.
They don't really say what it is,
but they have like snow cones, space snow cones, because we see those clone kids there finally, and they're like surfer clones. Like they have like Hawaiian shirts on, eating snow cones. I'm like, okay, I guess they're here, which is cool. We finally get to see them. And
well,
Batcher
and
gets
even,
a little thing too
even
to eat.
What's the name was like saying? He's like, okay, well, bring me 2 ice cones or whatever, like snow cones.
Yeah, Wrecker said that. Yeah,
but it's not called snow cones. There's something funny. It was like,
I don't know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
But so festival's going on, and then we see Omega, and I think the girl's name is Liana. Her friend, the daughter of Shep. I think it's the daughter of Shep, the mayor of the island, and they go into the museum or whatever. Because like we knew that when we first went there, season 2, that like it's a place where all these refugees, they bring artifacts to like from their culture to like have remembered or whatever. And so today we finally see the inside of this, all full of artifacts and stuff like that. And Omega is there to leave something to be remembered by, and she pulls out Tech's glasses that were recovered by Dr. Hemlock and was given to Hunter to show, hey, your buddy's dead. We found him. And she also puts Wrecker's stuffed animal there. And so Liana's like, "Hey, sure you want to leave these? Blah blah blah." Like, well, this is about family and stuff, and this is part of our family, and we want to be remembered by this. And so, even though they're leaving, Liana hopes that Omega returns, and Omega's like, "I think maybe someday, when things cool off, I'll return someday." And Wrecker, it goes and then it flashes down back to Wrecker, loaded in the ship, and he's having an argument with Gonk. They're like, well, I could leave you here, blah, blah, blah. And like, they're just kind of like arguing. Super funny. And then, but off in the distance, the assassin arrives on his ship. And like I said earlier, the Havoc Marauders sensors are going off, but then he's able to jam them. And so then Wrecker doesn't see the alarm goes off. And the assassin goes into the same cave, seemingly, that Ventress was in. I was like, guys, you should probably just put like a camera down there or something.
Yeah, for real.
People keep showing up in there. So he lands. And
somehow
leaves.
Everyone knows about this hiding spot.
Yeah. But then Hunter, we goes to Hunter and Crosshair, and Hunter just kind of stops and feels like something's off. He senses something because he sees like a bunch of birds flying straight up. Like, that's not normal. They don't fly like that. Like, something's off. But he's like, I feel like it's time to go. We gotta go. And he calms Omega. All right, time to go. And while all this is happening, the assassin, he gets to the top of the island and he starts looking around for the crew and Omega. Sees Hunter and Crosshair, and then sees, I think, like Hunter like turns and points to Omega. Oh, there she is coming. And so then he follows that pointed finger to see Omega coming. Confirms that she's there. And he calls in that the asset has been found. And then it goes just to the crew saying goodbye to everybody, and Shep like, all right, we were leaving. And Shep's like, you're always welcome to come back whenever you want, blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone's saying their goodbyes. And so then it goes back to the assassin working his way down to where the Havoc Marauder is in the off in the distance.
When he called in that Omega was found, they're like, all right, make sure she's alive. Like, she needs to be brought in alive. And then he's like, what about the other clones? And then they're like,
he's just like, if they get in the way, eliminate them, basically. Yep. And then he also said that they're sending a bunch of troopers too to help assist the whole thing. So the assassin goes down towards the docks and sees the H&M and launches 3 detonators onto it. And Wrecker sees one of them blinking.
Oh, he hears it.
Well, hears or sees, whatever, same thing. So he hears it, and he realizes what's going on. He jumps off, grabs Gonk, starts running, and then it explodes. And he gets thrown into the water with Gonk. And I was like, dang. I didn't expect that. I thought, at first, when he shot the first one, oh, this is a tracker, so if they happen to get away.
That's what I thought, too.
And then he shot 3 of them. And then I saw Hunter look and Wrecker look and get scared. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be good. So the explosion goes off, and Hunter and Crosshair, they all look over and like, oh no, this is terrible, blah, 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 obviously. And so they get down to the docks, and they're able to pull Wrecker out of the water. He's unconscious. I was like, did they kill him off? Like, they didn't kill him off. I was just kind of like a little worried for a second. But
I was super worried.
They're not going to kill him off that easily. Like, he's going out like a G when he does die. But they I'm trying to think about. So he I can't remember. So he talks to the 3 clone kids. I can't remember if this was before or after that. After
after they get after they get Wrecker out of the water.
No, I know, but I'm like, did he tell? Because he told the kids to bring Wrecker to Shep's house.
Mhm.
But I was at before or after the Empire arrived when they looked up, because they arrived at him around the docks.
I
just
think
can't remember if he tells
right
them
before.
he's like, bring Wrecker to Shep's house,
Mhm.
and then like I thought what I heard was like thunder and lightning. Like, oh, now it's gonna start raining, and then the Empire's gonna show up. But no, the sound was a cruiser,
Mhm.
like a. They're
Star
using the same
Destroyer
ships,
almost.
the same ships that from the Clone
Clones
Wars,
did.
and so that ship arrives. I'm like, oh no,
Mhm.
crap's going down. They're invading, and so then all crap goes crazy. Everyone's just running around, and it's just basically a invasion of the planet, or not the planet, but of the island, and the assassin tells the lat ships to take out all ships and skiffs. So skiffs are the water boats and stuff. So they just circle around the island and they just blow up all the docks and all the ships, so no one can fly away or float away or drive. What do you call it on a boat? Do you drive a boat?
Yeah.
You drive a boat. You can't
Or
drive away.
sail. But they're not sailboats. So
No. And so all this, everything's getting destroyed. People are think chaos. Hundreds of troopers are landing on the island, and immediately Omega has guilt. Like this, he's like, "This is my fault. They're here because of me."
Mhm.
And Hunter's like, "No, this is not your fault. This is the Empire's fault. They're doing this. You're not at fault." Um, but Crosshair is like, "All right, we need to. The only way off now is to steal one of the ships and get on that to like have any chance of getting out of here alive." So they split up. Hunter goes to find a ship, and then Omega and Crusher go to get Wrecker or see how he's doing and all that jazz. And while all this chaos is going on, Shep arrives and starts yelling at the assassin trooper, like, "What are you doing? Like, we're all innocent. You just show up unannounced. You didn't like tell us you're coming. Blah blah blah. You're just taking it. Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Well, we pulled up the little data puck thing, and this is a fugitive of the Empire. We're here for her. Blah blah blah." And it was just, and he's like, "I haven't even done anything yet. Like, I've destroyed some of your ships, but I haven't even done what I could do."
Yeah.
And Shep is like, "Well, you've just destroyed our livelihood. Like, we can't go fishing. We can't leave the planet to go get supplies. Like, we're all going to die basically because of this." And he's like, "Well, I didn't do this. I'm just stopping all the means of escape," which, okay, whatever. And so Crosshair and Omega are trying to sneak around and not get caught. And some troopers are messing with some citizens, and Batcher doesn't like it. So Batcher runs and attacks the troopers, and like the troopers start chasing after Batcher, and like Omega's like, "We gotta go after him." Like Crusher's like, "No, Batcher can take care of herself. Like, we gotta get to the Shep's house." And so they get there, and Wrecker is stable. He's not dead, but he's unconscious because AZ is there. We always forget that AZ is still around somehow.
Mhm.
Like, he's there taking care of Wrecker. And so that's good news, I guess. And so Hunter jumps to Hunter on the top of the island where all the ships are, and is kind of sneaking around, trying to get on his ship and steal it. And he bumps into a guy when he turns a corner, and then crap hits the fan, and they're just getting he's getting shot at. He's trying to fight people, get on a ship, and he's able to jump on a lat ship as it's going away. Now I don't understand though, like, there's no access to the cockpit from the back of the lat ship, right?
I don't know.
I don't think you can. I thought you can only access like from the top opening up in front. Like, I didn't.
I don't know.
I just thought that's kind of weird.
Yeah, the guy was like, "I'm trying to shake him. I can't shake him."
Yeah, so
He
I
was,
thought
like,
it was weird.
holding
Like,
on.
okay, he gets on the ship now. Like, he can't hijack it,
I mean, he
but
could climb the front and then like shoot through the. I don't know.
maybe. But so
But
the
then, how
ship
are you
is
gonna drive it in space if?
yeah, because it's a low. But the thing is, those are maybe there's two different kinds. There's the lat ships, which I was referring them as low altitude assault transport, which
Mhm.
can't go in space. But then they have versions that can go to space. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know which one that was.
I'm guessing if he thought that they could
I
escape
would
on it,
assume
it's
if he's
just
trying to escape on it, it had to be the one that can go, and maybe that
right.
one you can access the cockpit from the
Maybe,
back.
but that ship is squirming all over the place because the pilot's trying to like yeet him off
Yeah.
the back of the
Ooh.
thing. But he comes into the assassin. Hey, I've been like compromised. Like I can't shake him. Blah blah blah. And so then the assassin
Snipes him.
snipes him from like a mile away when the thing is going 100 miles an hour, moving all over the place. Like that's a good shot. Like extra points for this
Crosshair couldn't
guy,
even make that shot right now.
right? And so he just was like, all right, I need to kill that. I need to kill Hunter. So the only way I can do that is just shoot the ship down. So that thing crashes. Hunter jumps out like and falls into water, and then Omega and Crosshair see it happen, and Omega's like, "Is he alive? Did you see him? Did you see him?" And Crosshair's looking at his binoculars. He pops up out of the water. He's fine. He's fine. All right, we gotta go. I'm like, okay. And so they're still at Shep's house, and she's like, what's the plan? Like, there is no plan. Like, there's nothing we can do. Like, they're here for me. They're not gonna stop banging on all these doors and ripping people out of their homes and stuff. Like, there's no plan. There's no win. Like, the only option I have is to surrender. And Crosshair's like, no, that's not gonna work. Like, no. And she's like, well, we have no choice. And like, Crosshair, you're not looking at the bigger mission. Which I'm like, oh dang, she's talking about a bigger mission.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm just a small part of the bigger mission. I'm like, is this saying that she's willing to sacrifice like her life to like die if it means helping the bigger mission? Like, dang, Omega, like you're only like 14, 15 years old now at this point. Like she's already thinking, I felt like she was thinking like I can sacrifice my life
Yeah.
for the bigger mission. And she's like, well, we can just put a tracker on my comlink, like my comlinking and tracking it. Like, well, they're going to find that. And she's like, well, then you're going to have to place a secondary tracker on the ship so we can figure out where Tantus is. And Crosshair is like, she's right. This is the only choice.
Mm-hmm.
But like immediately I was like, Hunter and Wrecker are not going to like Crosshair's decision to let this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes out there and surrenders to the assassin guy who's with some other troopers and put some handcuffs on her and scan her, and they take her comm, and Crosshair has to watch her the whole time from a distance to see like where they take her, just figure out what ship to go to. Because like
you can't track a ship if you don't know where it's going to be.
Right. So it's like I was like, that sucks. Like he has to like
watch this
run the whole planet or the whole island trying to figure out where they're going. But he can't be like too close where they see him, but if he gets too far back, they turn one corner and then he won't see where they go. So like I'm like, that kind of sucks. So then it jumps to Hunter getting out of the water. He swims up to shore and he's exhausted probably because he just probably swam like a mile in the water. Mm-hmm. And he hears something, points his gun, and it's Batcher. Yay, she's alive. The band's getting back together. So then they just start running up to get back into the village part of the island. The assassin then remote control calls his ship out of the cave. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Because he tried to do that previously with like the whole Rex episode. Like his wrist was broke. So
oh yeah, that's true.
So he tried to call him so he could ship. He
Well,
called
that
the
was a
ship.
different assassin, though, wasn't it?
No, this is all the same one.
No, because don't they get one of them?
Get one of what?
Capture. They capture one of the assassins.
Yeah, but he gets
Oh.
killed. You remember he's in the cell and he gets sniped?
Yeah.
Because then last episode, Hemlock is like, you already failed once at capturing them. Can I trust you again? Like, that was his failed attempt. But so the ship lands at like the docks where all the ships were destroyed, skiffs were destroyed, and she's walking led to that ship, and she stops, kind of looks back, trying to give Crosshair a little bit more time, but he's huffing and puffing, he's running, trying to get there, and then he gets ambushed by some troopers, so he's not able to land the tracker, so he's fighting them.
Yeah, he shoots the tracker and just like falls.
Well,
right
before we get there, like he's just fighting them while he's trying to run and get to a good line of sight, and Omega's getting loaded up, and the ship starts flying away before he can shoot. And so then because it's flying away and he was delayed in getting there, he misses. And it's not that he misses, it's that it just got too far away.
Yeah, the length isn't close.
So the tracker goes into the water and Crosshair just looks defeated with his mask on. Like you can't see his face, but you can see in his mannerism that
he's pissed.
He's sad. And man, if you go back and you watch that tracker go into the water, bro, that was like a live action splash, dude. That was like
so good.
Like they just went.
They made that as dramatic as possible.
Like it was like the best animation in all of Star Wars was that splash in the water. It was like photorealistic water. It might have been. It almost looked like it was real water. Like they actually like just
took a picture of someone throwing
a video of someone throwing a rock in the water. When it's dark like that, you can do that and get away with it. But
yeah.
But then the final shot is this them flying away, and Omega just sits down, calms herself, and breathes. Because that's what to meditate, and that's it.
Next episode, like we flash at her, and she's like force choking everyone in the cockpit.
Could
be dope,
but it was just like,
yeah, I don't know.
It was just a very dramatic way to end. And the thing is, the first episode and then like of the today, and then the second episode were shorter than all the other episodes. Like one was 25 minutes, one was 24 minutes, and all the other ones were like 27 minutes. And these felt long. Like there was a lot that happened. So I was like, man, if you can just write well, a short episode can feel really deep and long and stuff like that. But that is today's episodes. So I really like these. Like they're not related to episodes. I thought we were gonna get a 2-episode arc.
I mean, they're kind of, because the bounty hunter like tells he like kind of knows, right, in the end of the last episode,
right? But
they're not super closely related. But I think this next one is probably gonna fill that gap.
Yeah. So next week is called Juggernaut. So
that tells us nothing.
So I don't know. Yeah. So a juggernaut means a huge, powerful, and overwhelming force or institution. So that's it.
Yeah.
So
good episodes.
So I think next week there's gonna be a big fight between Crosshair and Hunter and Wrecker on the other side of the fight. Like they're not gonna trust Crosshair. I'm kind of hoping that we see Crosshair cry. Like it'd be cool to see him cry out of anger and sadness for what happened.
Oh, who knows? Because maybe his girlfriend was on one of those boats.
Maybe. But I think so. Obviously, the way they're going to get off this planet eventually is probably Fee, because we see her in the trailer helping them. but like there's no other ships, so like she's gonna.
She might go there as they're like fighting all these.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go see my
Troopers.
friends and all
And
that
then-
stuff, and then she arrives and the Empire is destroying.
What have I done?
Right, so like,
Yeah, I don't know.
hopefully the troopers just leave. I don't know, but like they think that Crosshair's still alive, but maybe they just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
But
They're just gonna kill them all.
but like
Crosshair just like goes through a big fit of rage and just starts sniping all of them, and then they don't get into a fight because they see him like popping off, and they realize, okay, you're not gonna kill all your guys if this was like
right.
a ploy. So he just like they all like Wrecker comes out of his coma, and he's just like sitting there dropping all of them. His sight's perfect. His hand's not shaking anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I just don't know how they're gonna find Tantus or how Omega's gonna call for help. Because like she's gonna be locked down, where she's never gonna be able to get like no, I'll get Emery. Like, is Emery just gonna be the one that like is able to reach out to?
I think so. I think Emery's once she sees Omega's back.
That like
She's
is
gonna
Omega say,
turn.
oh yeah, just use call this number.
Well, she might just turn like right away.
Well, I think there's no way that she's just gonna do it herself. Like, Emery would have to call the Bad Batch, like calm them to come. But
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out. But yeah, there's only 4 episodes left.
Somehow it happens pretty quickly. You think we're gonna get Rex involved? I think we have to at this point.
I feel like
What's his name needs to open 7 doors, dude. The heck?
oh yeah, Echo.
In 4 episodes?
It's
That's-
gonna happen in like the last episode where they're like
we're just counting
attacking.
1, 2,
They're
3, 4, 5, and it's like stops at 6. I'm gonna be so mad.
because I think what's gonna happen is the Bad Batch is going to contact Rex, and then Rex is gonna get all the troopers that he has.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know like a lot of them got killed, but like, I think he has multiple places around the galaxy full of clones.
I wonder if because Fee gets, I wonder if somehow maybe they do get Cad Bane because Cad Bane was the one that like sold the last bounty. So maybe, all right, hear me out. Maybe they figure out, okay, so there's a bounty. Maybe somehow they use either Cad Bane or one of these bounty hunters to say that they have one. And then they meet at the rendezvous point, and that's how they figure out a way to get to.
Could.
I mean, that would make sense why we saw that scene. Because maybe she'll go, that doctor clone, she'll go there to see what this new bounty is, and then the Bad Batch like maybe kidnaps her, or they track that ship back.
Well, they could maybe
Ventress is back. Maybe
Ventress. Ventress is the person that they're using as
bait.
the bait. Like they captured Ventress to like, turn over to the Empire for the M count specimen, and then she's just there to help them fight. But you're probably right. That's as a way like they lure Emery out to like rendezvous point above Coruscant. But
that would make sense to me because we got that. We figured out like, okay, that's what they're doing. These bounty hunters are. So if they know that the bounty hunters are purposely working with them to bring people with M counts, maybe that's what that episode is like them on like Fee's helping them find someone with an M count. Like that's what they're working on together as a bounty. they're fined at M count and they call it in through someone else's bounty log.
Maybe.
That
Possibly. It's either that or does Emery just calls them because Omega gives them the phone number. Like those are like
Right.
the two only options
That
that we can
too.
think of. But either way, it's gonna be pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at these other titles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm just excited
Anything
for the finale.
anything in there talk about tech?
Nothing about Tech. Let's not say Tech is the assassin clone. That's not the episode title.
That's the final episode title, just like the whole thing.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of talked about pretty much everything, our theories and stuff, but they do a good job of not giving a lot up for us to go off of. So I like that we can't really predict what's going on.
Yeah. Like I
So-
said, I think the easiest prediction is they figure out how to say that they have a bounty, and
Right.
they use that as a tool. So
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's our discussion of these episodes, but let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
it's voicemail time.
All right. Cool. Well, we have 3 voicemails tonight. First
Ooh.
up from Uncle Owen. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio, Owen here with another voicemail. My question for you guys today is, which of these changes to the sequels do you think would improve the trilogy as a whole? You guys have both mentioned them on the podcast, but they are having the original 3 protagonists from the original trilogy and the Millennium Falcon together in episode 7, and Admiral Akbar being the one to sacrifice himself in Last Jedi for the Holdo maneuver. Alright, thanks. May the Force be with you. Bye.
All right.
Uncle
Thank you,
Owen's
Owen.
been listening to some
Yeah,
episodes.
Yeah, he has listened to a lot of our. I think he's newer, so he's kind of like binge listening to
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
But
Uncle
yes, we
Owen, is there
had.
an Aunt Maru somewhere out there for you?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. You don't need to answer that.
and that'd be crazy if you did meet a girl named Baru.
That'd be dope.
Oh, and if you meet a girl your
You
age
have to, bro.
named Baru, you have to marry
You
her.
have
Sorry,
to. Sorry.
that's the will of the
That's the-
Force.
That's the rules.
Yeah,
we didn't
we
make
don't
the
we
rules
don't write
up.
the rules. We just follow them.
We just follow them.
But that is a good question. Like, of these 2 changes, what would be the best?
Both. I
I
pick both.
No, you can't. He set the rules for this question. So it's either having the OG team back together in episode 7 on the Millennium Falcon, so Han, Leia, Luke, and Chewie. We can't
No,
forget
Chewie,
Chewie.
for
It's
sure.
a group of 4.
Well, and the droids too.
Yeah,
Well,
no one cares about droids.
that helps though. R2
But
and C3PO.
yeah, or have Admiral Akbar be the one to sacrifice himself by doing the Akbar maneuver, not the Holdo maneuver. But
One would just be really cool, and like something that I just felt like they just failed on, like they just missed an opportunity. So that'd be the first one. Like I don't think it's gonna make much difference for the story. It just makes you appreciate that. Like, I mean,
Right.
obviously it would make a little difference considering like the whole thing about Luke would be different.
right, it'd be a completely
So
different
it
story.
would be a completely different story. In that
Which maybe
sense.
that's why it would be the best one, because then the whole
True.
trilogy would be different.
True.
But
to just fix episode 8, the Akbar thing would just fix the whole thing.
yeah, because the way he died, they just
It's
blew
so
up the
stupid. It's
the
dude,
the
the whole
bridge,
thing.
and he just
Between
dies.
that
Like,
and then Leia's flying around like Mary Poppins, and it's just like the whole thing is just like when you really think about it, it's so dumb.
yeah,
And like I
Yeah.
understand people like that movie because it's like cinematic and it's pretty and it's a interesting story the way that right. I don't give a crap. It's not Star Wars. It's just not the same. Like
so
I
yeah.
really like if like Jeremiah like brought that up and it really made me mad that he thought of this. method of like just having Admiral Akbar be the one to sacrifice himself, because it would actually made more sense because we actually care about that character.
Yeah.
We don't care about
And
this character that we met 10 minutes ago. And she sacrificed herself. Cool. Okay. You should have just got eaten by a dinosaur in Jurassic Park and we wouldn't have cared about your character ever. But that's a completely different lore, but I'm just saying.
but like it would have been funny because Admiral Akbar would be doing a thing where he's turning the ship just like
It's a
Holdo
trap.
did, and then there would be he could be something like he could go two ways. One, they could just do the simple way where they realize
Just
what's
does it.
happening, and then they say,
It's a
"Oh,
trap.
it's a trap," like to use his line. Or he could have been, as he's doing it, calm the ship and be like, "Do you know what this is?
It's a trap.
Do you know what this
Dude,
is?
that'd be dope.
It's
bro.
a trap!" Zoom, and this blows him up. Like,
That'd be dope.
so to answer your question, Owen, I'm going with Admiral Akbar.
I think Admiral Akbar, you can keep the entire thing. Maybe not have Leia fly, but keep the entire thing. And I think that would have helped episode 8 so much. I really think Ryan just didn't care about any fans, honestly. Like, the more you think about
Right.
that, I think he just couldn't care less. Just
Maybe
why he never
this is what we gotta do. We gotta start a campaign online
had an
that
alternate ending.
no, if Star Wars, the rumors are that they are working on a Star Wars What If, but we got for season 2, we gotta be like, hey, what if Admiral Akbar did the Holdo maneuver? Let's have them
Do it.
do that as a what if. I'd be happy.
Yes, me too. Or they just do like a alternate ending, and then just have like a different cutscene with him doing it.
Alternate
how, like,
ending, which is like the second half of the whole movie.
Well, yeah, but like
after the Holdo movie, there's still probably another half hour, 45 minutes to the movie or something.
yeah, but like just think of that. Like if they're just like, let's do an alternate ending, have Admiral be that character, just throw away her, like literally just have Admiral Akbar the one arguing with Poe. It would have made more sense. Like we wouldn't even question that thing at all. Like there wouldn't have been any like we'd be like, dude, Poe, you're being dumb. Just listen to Admiral Akbar. And then you realize that he ends up, dude, the story would have been so much better, bro. It doesn't even make sense. Like it's not that hard. If me and Jeremiah can figure this out, what was Ryan doing?
I don't know,
He
dude.
just didn't care about Star Wars fans.
But we don't want to. Okay, we could go on this for hours, and we have. So
Yeah, we have.
go
But-
listen to our
but-
episodes.
Yeah, I don't know what episode that was, Uncle Owen, that we've talked about that, but
Because we do. So we did like what would we change? Was that a top 5 changes, or would we just each come up with?
I don't know. I feel like there was a minute there that we like just talked about episode 8 like anytime we could about how we could
I don't know.
fix
We,
it.
we did do a changes to a sequel trilogy episode, and maybe this is what inspired Owen's question. Like he listens to that. I can't remember if it was top 5 for each of us, or if it was we just
one thing.
talked about a couple each or something. I can't remember. Like we said, this is 250 episodes. I
don't know. Uncle
I
Owen,
don't
let
know.
us know next week what episode that was.
Yeah, I can't. I was looking at our YouTube channel the other day.
Mhm.
Let me see. Quick on this. How many videos do you think we have on our YouTube channel? Now, keep in mind, we
300.
didn't start doing.
We still have like
YouTube.
300 though.
We have 382 videos.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy smokes!
Because of like
Like-
watch parties, reactions, trailer reactions, and then,
Product
like,
reviews,
product reviews.
stuff like that. But I was like, dang, that's a
lot, dude.
lot of videos. But yes. So thank you, Owen, for that question. Keep sending them in. We love your questions. But
Yep.
we have 2 more tonight from Elias.
Oh, okay.
We haven't heard from him for a while. So let's take
Well,
a
not in
listen.
voicemail form. He's been emailing.
He
really.
sends emails once in a while, but let's take a listen to his first one.
Hey, Empire Radio. Elias here. After like super long time and not sending voicemails. I just wanted to ask you guys, what's your favorite movie? Yeah, so
Of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's it.
Of
Favorite
all
movie of
time?
all time.
Elias,
Now,
bro.
that's a hard question because I never answer what my favorite movie is because I don't have an answer.
I
But I
don't
always
either.
answer with I know what the best movie is I've ever seen.
Okay, I
And
don't even know that.
it's Interstellar.
Interstellar? I've still never seen that movie.
You gotta watch it, bro.
You say that like once every 6 months.
Once a quarter. Once a quarter.
Once a quarter that gets brought
Dude,
up.
it's just so good. Hans Zimmer does the music, and like the music in there is just amazing. But then just the story and the visuals, and it's like
One of these days I need
A-list.
to.
You got Matthew McConaughey, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Michael Caine.
You know the thing that we're doing Saturday? Why don't we just skip that and just come over and then just watch the
No,
movie?
I'm not skipping that. Are you kidding me? That's so.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Do you want me to tell everyone what you just suggested we skip?
Nope.
Okay.
That's why I didn't say it.
That would be really bad. People would not talk to us ever again.
That's why I left it blank. It's up to their imagination.
But Interstellar is super amazing. But what are some good shout outs? I think I prefer Infinity War over Endgame. That might be a hot take.
Well, that is a hot take.
Um,
That's a really hot take.
I just think that for Infinity War, it's consistently a good story. But I think in Endgame, there's kind of a lot of like low points where it's just kind of like they're just planning and figuring things out. And it's also like a 3-hour movie too. So it's like super long. But there's that. What other good ones out there?
Dune 2.
I wouldn't put that. It's really
Really?
good, but I'm not really like
I liked it.
emotionally invested in that movie. I'm not really. It's super cool. Don't get me wrong. It's like amazing, but like there's other
I
movies
bought
I'd rather.
the Doom book this last
Really?
weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna read it
Wow.
because
Don't
like
forget to read the other book that we have for next month for the podcast.
yeah, I haven't got that yet.
I just ordered it. Coming in the mail tomorrow.
Nice.
And right now on Audible, if you're not subscribed, 99 cents a month for 3 months.
I think I'm subscribed. I have like 21 credits or something.
How do what?
Yeah.
And you have to use them because you can't cancel because then you'll lose your credits,
Correct.
bro. Just start.
Buying books. I know. That's why I got Dune.
So order the ones that we're doing Master and Apprentice next month. Pre-order.
Find the hard copy of that.
That's took it off Amazon.
I don't wanna
I just bought it for like what is it, $15 or something?
hard copy.
Yeah,
Send me the link.
Amazon. Type in Master and
Yeah,
Apprentice.
true.
Anyway, but yeah, so that and then we got the next High Republic book, the Mace Windu book. They got delayed. They're delaying it like a month and a half.
Oh,
It was supposed to be like,
kind of
huh?
puts a damper on our schedule a little bit.
Well, yeah, because we don't know. There's probably gonna be a show going on when that book comes out, so it might actually work out where after a show we could do that right away. But then I was thinking we could probably do Tarkin. We could do Rise of the Red Blade.
Lost Stars.
Yeah, but I don't have an audiobook for that.
I have one for you. I already said.
Yeah, I gotta log into your account.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear
It's
that.
fine.
You didn't hear me say that
Oh, what?
publicly.
What? Audible, if you want to sponsor us, please, that would be dope.
But yeah, there's all kinds of great movies out there. But Drew, what are some shout outs for you?
No, bro.
If you want, you can say A New Hope is your favorite movie of all time if you want.
It's definitely up there. Honestly, I mean, personally, I think it is like my top 5, one of my top 5 favorite movies. And like, it's not just because it's Star Wars; it's because everything like about that movie and what it means to me. So like, that's what's kind of hard when you're like saying what's your favorite movie. Is like, is it like you said, Jeremiah? Like, I don't know my favorite, but I know which ones I think are the best movies. Like for me, like New Hope isn't clearly not the best movie because every year there's like really intense, cool movies now. Like the technology is ridiculous, right? But like, what does that movie mean to me? It means everything to me. So like, that's definitely up there for me. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, like I really love that, and like that's another thing from my childhood that I grew up watching, and like I watched them all in theaters when they all came out. It was like the first like dark war movie that my parents let me watch in theaters. Somehow, some reason, my mom was okay with that, but not Harry Potter, even though it's like, no, it doesn't make any sense. But whatever. So like those movies.
I
I don't
was
know.
just thinking, Across the Spider-Verse, the second one. That is an
Oh yeah.
amazing
No, Into the
movie.
Spider-Verse 2 is like the first one is.
Well, I think the second one is 10 times better than the first one.
I think the first one was just a groundbreaker for me.
Right, it was just so new and fresh. But I think, dude, that second movie nonstop.
Did you watch the
intense.
new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
No.
yet?
I don't. I've never really watched them. I have no
Okay. But it feels like that.
I did see a little clip of it, and I was like, it's similar to.
It feels like that, which is really cool, and like Ice Cube's in it, man. Come on.
Okay.
I don't know.
Also,
like that movie was really good. I like that one.
But also, Spider-Man: No Way Home, that third
Dude,
Tom.
I remember in theaters.
That is my favorite. That and it's kind of funny. That and the second Spider-Verse movie are probably my top two superhero movies.
Yeah.
Maybe, which are crazy. Spider-Man's is always good.
I think those two are definitely up there. Like sitting in the movie theater, and then when those Peters came out, dude, it was so dope. It was dope. Everyone was cheering. But those are also like, is it the movies that good, or is it like what is in the film? You know what I mean? Like
everything.
I think it's like a little bit of everything, and then also remembering where you were in that moment when you saw it and everyone was reacting. Because I saw opening night, so like, yeah, I don't know.
There's so many good movies out there. I'll never be able to come up with a definitive.
Yeah, I think the
movie.
original 3 Star Wars movies are probably like my favorite movies that I'll go back to like yearly. But I'm definitely forgetting some movies I also
there's
love.
so many movies.
Like I'm just forgetting about some movies. I'm like, oh, dude, I haven't watched this in a while. Like this is kind of weird. But like Rent is like one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really love Rent. Or the Newsies, bro. The Newsies is so good. You ever watched
never even heard of it.
The Newsies? You never watched that PK retreat? They watched it every year. We watched the Newsies and
I vaguely remember selling newspapers, right?
Yeah. Some musical. And Batman's
barely
in it.
remember anything from that.
Batman's in it.
I don't know, dude.
Dark Knight. That's a good movie.
The Dark Knight is really good.
One of the best movies.
Okay, I have a hot
Batman
take.
too. I really liked it, but what is your?
I have a hot take of movies that I don't like. That I just watched the movies like in the past like 2 weeks. I've watched these 3 movies that people think are amazing, and I thought they're kind of not that great. I just watched the first 3 John Wick movies.
Huh?
I think they're kind of not great.
What?
Dude,
that is a hot take.
I
didn't
like
watch the last one yet.
I just watched 3 today actually, and I'm like,
wow.
It's just,
you don't like the
I
nice
like
scene in
action
episode
stuff.
3.
That's so lame, dude.
Oh my gosh, no.
It was just so stupid because first of all, every single knife that they threw hit. Like you can't be that good at throwing a knife where it hits every time.
John Wick, why are you asking?
And it's stupid because like I like the whole like organized crime underworld thing.
Story, like
that is super cool. Like I really think that's interesting. And apparently there's a TV show about that. But like
about the hotel.
Which
but I haven't watched it.
But like I really felt like all the bad guys that he kills, they're just super incompetent. Like it says, oh, we're hearing all these people die outside this room, so we're just gonna run in full speed like nothing's happening. And it's like PlayStation 1 AI bad guys.
I don't know. I like John Wick. It's a fun, just mindless movie. It's not a movie that you're like, let me dissect this thing. I feel like it's just like, let's go watch people die and pretty
I don't know.
intense.
I was like, I always heard it all hyped up. I thought it was
I
like,
like
how
it.
like the first one, I guess was good, but like, I don't know.
I want something like that as like a bounty hunter in Star Wars.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. I hate that.
I think it's
All right, we're moving on. Thank you, Elias, for that first question. But we have a second question from Elias, so let's take a listen.
Elias back here with another voicemail. Just wanted to ask you guys, what type of music do you listen to? I love country music, really. I listen to Willie Nelson, like, a lot. Like, I have a Spotify playlist, just only Willie Nelson songs. It's 11 and a half hours long.
Jeez.
And I just listen to it, like, constantly. But yeah, just wondering what type of music guys listen to, and bye.
All right, thank you. Well, I will answer very quickly. I don't really listen to a lot of music,
I was gonna say Jeremiah doesn't listen to music.
so I don't really. I
Weird.
like sometimes I listen to like classical music or like movie soundtrack, show soundtrack stuff. But other than that, like I don't really. I
You
can
don't
go
have like a thing that like you don't have,
like there's things like if there's like a song that I listen to like on YouTube and it like pops up on my recommended again, I might
You'll click
listen to it
on it.
again. But like I'm not actively seeking to listen to music. Like I could probably go a month or two without ever listening to a song.
But you're also like you don't walk around with headphones in or anything like that.
No,
Like you don't have like a way to.
even if I did, like I wouldn't.
You don't think you would listen to stuff on the bus?
No, because one, my bus ride is 5 minutes, so like.
True.
But like also, okay, I really hate this so much. Where like I'm on the bus,
And people
whatever.
are
I'm just
playing
sitting
stuff
there
on their
minding my own
phone.
business. People like someone will like pull the cord to, like because their stop is next. Okay, cool. And it dings and it says like on the voice, "Stop requested." But people have their headphones in, and so like even though they have the same stop, they pull the cord not knowing that it was already pulled. Because they took a thing, but it doesn't ding and it doesn't say a thing because it's already pulled. So they start pulling it like crazy, like, oh no, it's not gonna stop, it's not gonna stop.
Oh,
Basically, and freaking out. I'm like, bro, pay attention. Like, take your
I thought
headphones off.
your thing was gonna be that people are like listening to music on
No.
their.
Some people do
speaker.
that. You're supposed to
That's
have
annoying.
headphones on,
Yeah,
but like,
that's annoying to me.
but it's just it happens all the time. People are just like pulling it like crazy, like, oh,
I
it's broken,
bet.
it's not working. And then like sometimes like, oh, I want to stop, I want to stop. Like they're yelling to the bus driver, stop, stop, stop.
And he's like, yeah.
She's like,
we
I already
are."
know. I already got the bell. Anyway, what is your favorite like go to genres and artists? Like, what was your Spotify
Well, I don't have Spotify, so
or
I have YouTube Premium. YouTube.
do you get summaries for that?
Huh?
Do you get summaries for
Not
that?
really.
No. So
No.
who do you listen to? Who's your go tos?
Well, it depends on who's in the car with me. If it's just me, it's mostly podcasts. So I don't really listen to a lot of music. But if it's Miles, then it's Bluey song over and over and over again, or the Paw Patrol theme song, or he's off Baby Shark, which is super nice because that was getting old pretty quickly. But then with like my wife, it's like Taylor Swift or like worship music and stuff. And then for me, yeah, it's like either country or like heavy metal, like old screamo
Two
stuff.
opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, like old screamo stuff that I used to listen to like in high school, like For Today and stuff, and These Hearts, like stuff that I used to listen to as a kid. Like I'm not like really seeking new music. Like I'm not one of those people. Like
Right.
when people are like let's listen to music like at work, I'm like, you guys don't want to hear my playlist because it's like from like 2007 and up to
You mean you're not going to
11.
download Beyonce's new country album she just
Well,
released?
Stephanie definitely is like listening to it here and there. She has a lot of weird takes about that, but no. So like, but T Swift, that's go to. I'd probably listen to that like once a week.
Do you listen to like K-pop though?
Yeah, not as like I used to,
Right.
but like yeah, like at work when I'm in charge of like the boom box in the warehouse, like I'll throw like K-pop on because like that's, like,
Boombox. They still got boom boxes.
well, we have like a giant like speaker,
Right.
so like I like because like when I don't want to listen to like heavy metal because like half my coworkers would be like, I don't want to listen to this stuff. I don't even know what they're talking about. And I'm like, okay. So then I'll play like K-pop or like just like random shuffle of stuff. Like my playlist is really weird. A lot of it, I'm trying to. I mean, I can pull it up and see what's like on it right now. But
All right, well, hurry up, or we're gonna go over
yeah,
socials.
it's like, or it's like rap too. Inappropriate rap that I'm not gonna recommend.
Dude,
people
last
listen to.
week I was walking through Sunray to go to Cub,
Mhm.
and this old white guy got out of his car. Like he was probably in his 70s.
Mhm.
He had an external speaker blasting music, and it was Eminem.
That a boy. That's what's up. I would probably walk up to him.
He's just
Yeah, like I listen to like Ice Cube or like old.
I was like, I
rap.
never thought I'd see a
That's
75-year-old guy with an external speaker in his pocket playing Eminem for everyone to hear.
Like right now, what I was listening to today was Hobo Johnson. Look him up if you haven't. He's a weird guy, but yeah, I don't know. Or my favorite kind of is Billy Strings. Look him up if you guys haven't. But it's like folk. It's like completely opposite, but he's really
All
talented.
right. Cool,
Alright.
cool. All right. Well, thank you, Owen and Elias,
Mhm.
for those voicemails. But if you have never sent in a voicemail and would like to send one in for your very first time, go to the link in the description below. Links.co/Empire Radio. Links spelled 2 I's. There is a landing page for everything Empire Radio, and one of those links is the voicemail link, which is a new website that we're using to send in voicemails. So all 3 tonight were sent through that website, so it works just fine.
Ooh.
Super easy. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just
Push a
click the
button.
button, record, and then
I need to test it, see if it works on your phone. I'd assume though.
I'm assuming so. I don't know. I'm assuming they did it on their phones. I
I
don't
would
know.
assume so.
But yeah, so go click that link and send in a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. We love non-Star Wars questions because it's been 250 episodes. We've talked
Mhm.
about a lot, but we'll still answer them whatever you ask, as long as it's family friendly.
Mhm.
But also, if you want to get connected with us all the other ways, click the links for Facebook, for Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch because we go do live streams for every episode. So if you want to join the chat and fact check us and all that stuff, you can follow us on Twitch. There's a link to the Discord. Join the Discord, a lot of fun. And there is a fan email if you ever want to send us an email about anything. And there's also a link for needlesslynerdy.com, which is an entertainment network that we're a part of. So if you like other nerdy content in the forms of podcast articles, go check that out. But I think that's everything. Anything else,
Yeah.
Drew?
No.
Well, we're excited for next week's episode, Juggernaut. We have no idea what's going to happen next,
Whatever
but
that
we're
means.
excited. And we'll be here for you, breaking that episode down too. But until then, you have been listening to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and may the Force be with you.
Always.